Hi fellow farmers, hi aspiring farmers, karibuni, it's your girl Wamboko the Farm Empress. Today I'll be taking you through beetroot farming and we'll be doing direct sowing of beetroot. A lot of you have been asking me, how do you grow your beetroots? They are so big. So I decided to bring you along on what I do. But before, kindly subscribe. Thank you so much. Right now, I'm preparing that piece of land that we are going to sow the beetroot seeds. And since we are doing direct sowing, I need to make this land very, very fine, and the soil must be very fine. The lucky thing is that this place is full of manure, and so I won't add any other manure because it's already fertile. Those asking, you can plant your beetroots in two different ways. You can do direct sowing, or you can do the seedbed way where you transplant later. But since we are having rains this season, I took the advantage of direct sowing, which for me turns out to be a bit easier and manageable. If your land is not fertile enough, you'll definitely have to add manure, and the kind of manure still matters, because I would advocate for not fresh manure. Get the manure that is well dried up, because that one will blend well with the soil and it will be easier for your crop to absorb as fast as possible. So don't get wet manure and put it direct, and especially during this rainy season, because there is a lot of water retention on the soil. So I'm using a rake to make my work easier and to easily remove the leaves and any unwanted stuffs on the soil, to make it fine and ready for sowing my beetroots. This is how the piece of land is looking like. I tried my best to make it as clear as possible. So the other thing is to lay back our drip lines. Drip lines are of so much help, and especially during the dry season. And the other thing is that they help me on how to space my crop. So when laying them back, make sure that the holes face on the upper side, so that when you're planting, you'll be able to know where the holes are. And that will give you a proportional dimension of spacing. The other thing is that you will be able to know your crop count. So you'll be able to approximate how many crops you'll have on this farm, depending on the length and the holes on your drip lines. Make sure that you tightly tie the end of your drip lines. Remember, these are pipe and we will use it to water our crops, and we don't want to have wastage of water, so we make sure that we tightly tie the end of the pipe. As you can see, that's what I'm doing, and I'll be ready for planting after this. This is how our space looks like after we've laid back our drip lines, and I can't wait. Let's start sowing our beetroot seeds. So this is Detroit dark red beetroot, and that's what we'll be sowing. First and foremost is to check if your seeds are legit. So I sent my message to Kefis, and that's my reply on the top left side to confirm that is true, that is Safari seeds, and that's what we'll be sowing today. Here we get into it. These are the seeds. They look as big as the spinach ones. Our spacing will be 15 centimeters from one hole to the other. make sure that you know your spacing, and the 15 centimeter is ideal for good bulbing of the beetroot, because you know beetroot is a taproot crop and we have to give it space. So we drop one seed on each hole. Make sure that you don't skip any hole. After sowing and covering your beetroot seeds, it will take about 2.5 months to mature, and you can comfortably harvest your beetroots. Thank you.